Well, my name is Carl Bierke, and I'm the CEO of a company by the name of Compliancy. And we specialize in, you guessed it, compliance for small businesses. And I'm sure all you guys are super excited to know all about the ins and outs of compliance. But before we do that, I'd actually like to talk about something that I'm certain everybody in here absolutely loves, and that's donuts. Because I love donuts, and Concord is the home of the best donuts. Um, and where do the best donuts come from? Well, they come from the Sweet Life Bakery, and it's run by an individual named Jennifer, and she's always had a passion for baking. And in 2020, along with millions of other Americans, she submitted an application to start her own business. In fact, in the US, there's more than 33 million small and medium-sized businesses. And so back to our story here real quick. Jennifer has worked really hard to build a successful business. She's got a great product, great reviews, great customer service, and a very loyal following. And when not baking, she's spending her time calling on local businesses to purchase her donuts for morning meetings and other functions. And she's had some success with that. And it looks like she's about to get her big break. How? Lowe's Home Improvements. It turns out that one of the local companies she has been calling on is Lowe's. And Lowe's has 1,700 locations just in the United States. And they have about, 300,000 associates. Unlike most retail stores, they host monthly all hands meetings in stores with all of their employees. So this could be a game changer, as they say. And ultimately, they just called her back. And a lot of people don't know this, but Lowe's is a national company that promotes sourcing locally. And so this could be a really big break for her. And I call it a match made in donut at home improvement heaven. And so the question is, what could possibly go wrong? Well, the answer is there's lots of risk, regulations, rules, standards, and laws. And in fact, if we were to look at it, when we think about compliance, it's not just Jennifer that has this problem. A lot of small businesses do. Since the year 2000, the number of regulations that companies need to adhere to and standards has grown about 450%. If that weren't bad enough, the costs have increased from what I would call pretty reasonable $500 per person to more than, in 2000, to more than $2,800 just in compliance costs per person today. Today it's about $2,800, I'm sorry. And in Jennifer's case, the reason this has come up is there's a standard called PCI DSS, and it's very important to Lowe's. And it is a standard designed to promote security practices around the use of credit cards for merchants. And she's heard of it, but frankly, she's never given it much attention. And she knows they're not compliant, but it only costs her business a little bit more per swipe, so it hasn't been a big deal until this very moment. Because it turns out that Lowe's mandates that all of their suppliers be able to show that they are PCI compliant. And that reason is very, very simple. Lowe's and other organizations are not willing to adopt the risk that ultimately should sit within their supply chain. And so that is a total showstopper. Or is it? Well, excuse me. As it sits right now, the average small business spends about 120 hours per year on just federal regulation compliance. She doesn't have the time to invest any more time, nor does she have the expertise to do it herself. And so she's looked up some software, and that software is expensive. And so is the person who is ultimately required to run it, to the tune of about $150,000 a year. And the cost of non-compliance, to be very frank, is not any better. It's very, very expensive if you're caught in a non-compliant situation. And obviously in this one, it's a new business situation. And so if she doesn't go and get this PCI compliant, she's going to lose the deal with Lowe's. And the other thing that we're seeing is insurance companies are threatening to drop cyber insurance policies and other things if they're not compliant. So what should she do? Well, the answer is pretty simple. I think she should come work with us. Because at Compliancy, we have built a tool. It's our own SaaS solution specifically for small businesses to manage their compliance needs and regulations. We also include the compliance expertise that is required, so there's no additional headcount from the end user. And as a nice bonus, when we take something that's traditionally a project and we operationalize it, you gain lots of value in business intelligence, giving her the ability to adapt, monitor, and manage the standards, regulations, and frameworks that are important to her. And this problem is huge. In the US, that market is almost $3 billion in what we call compliance as a service, and we expect it to grow to more than $9 billion by 2028. And so why do we feel that we can solve this problem? Well, we've got decades of experience in the compliance space. We've got decades of experience selling SaaS-type solutions, and we've got decades of experience in sales. And so we are really ideally situated to help. I'd love to help them all, but some of these 33 million businesses. We are self-funded and we are making money. And so what's our ask? Everybody in here is an entrepreneur, and I would encourage you to think of compliance not as a task, but as a business advantage that you can potentially lead within the sales process. If you have questions about any type of compliance, we work with a lot of software companies that have their own little niche, but most small businesses have some understanding of the things they need to do, and we provide them a better way to do that. And so we would love to talk to you. Alternatively, you guys have very big networks of business owners. And so if you know someone who's in a jam, we would love the opportunity to talk to them. And that's basically what I got. Thank you so much.